just went through a beating the last race, and they have to do it again. Do you think it's, what do I have to lose, trying to go out there again to get it? Or is it going to be one of those situations where they just hope to finish something tonight?
I would hope that the drivers would have, taken what experience they had in the first race, whether it be a good one or a hard lesson that they learned, and apply that to the second race.
Well, we're about to find out. Real quickly, anybody in chat, I got two questions for you. Do you think we're going to have a double down? Do you think it's possible, with how hard the passing's been, that Hill will be able to come back, or Holmes be able to come back and win the second race? Or do you think that maybe there might be some calamity, and it might be the shortest points lead to be owned by someone in the shortest amount of time, going from race 1 to race 2? I want to hear some opinions from some people in chat, what they expect from this race. Is it going to be more of the same, or do you think it's going to be even crazier? So, I gotta say, so far, Whiskey Cast has gotten their money's worth, David. Do you? I mean, what's your opinion on some of those questions?
I'll be honest with you, Gerald. I wasn't listening because I was getting ready for the next race. I am so sorry.
That's fine. We were just asking, do you think that Holmes is going to be able to double down and be able to become the short track king and be able to come from the 12th place and be able to work his way up there? Or do you think that maybe it might be a situation where we'll have the shortest points lead in history from owning a time standpoint wise?
Yeah, I honestly can't imagine we'll get a long enough green run for him to make it all the way from the back or from where he's starting. So that'll make it harder. But speed-wise, I think if we can get a long green run of maybe 10 to 15 laps or even 20 laps would be a long one for tonight, I think he might be able to work his way back to the front.
It's going to be interesting. So, obviously, it's not enough time for us to actually get a full rundown of the points, as we're very quickly trying to go from one race to the other. But right now, from where Levi finished in 6th position, and where Holmes finished in 1st position, and with the stage points he collected, it's easy enough to say that Holmes took the lead, as he won the stage and won the race. He took home the most amount of points you possibly can, and Levi was unable to get any points from the first stage. So it's easy enough to say Holmes has the points lead, but by how much is uncertain. But what we do know is that we're about to have another crazy race. All these drivers that may have been sitting out with wrecked race cars, I'm looking at Scott Crump back there. He was running in 2nd. I had an unfortunate event where a lap car pulled right up in front of him and collected him. He's going to have to go from, I believe, like the 37th position. He's going to have to come from all the way to the back. And we're about to find out if Scott Crump can be able to get up to the front. Because, again, we're coming closer and closer to the end of this regular season. Only 14 trucks make it to the chase. After this, we only have New Hampshire. Then we have Lime Rock, Charlotte, Kansas, and then we finish out the regular season at Lucas Oil. So we only have five more races to decide the top 14. Scott Crump did not come in here with a very high points gap between him and the cutoff. He was 13th before the first race. He was only about 2 points above the cutoff line. And with a very bad finish in the first Bristol race, he is desperate to look at this Bristol race as a comeback point. As I'm sure a lot of those drivers that may have had unfortunate events at the first Bristol race. But they can very quickly be able to make it up here if they can be able to survive the second Bristol race.
So we should be greeting anytime soon now. 10:07 was the approximate.
Well, I'm going to give it over to Erica if she's available to be able to do the sponsor shout-outs that we need to do for tonight. Let's see if she's available. I hear the little one crying in the background. Well, real quickly here while we go over that. David, do you mind? Do you have the sponsorship shout-outs for us tonight?
I don't have the full list, but I can at least get the sponsor tonight. NASCAR RPG is a spreadsheet-based team manager simulation. It is multiplayer only, and the game mechanics are all done on the Google Sheets. All user actions take place in the Discord server, and everything is done manually with the exception of the race weekends themselves. They are done using weighted random number generators as opposed to any video games. If you've ever wanted to simulate running a NASCAR team, then this is for you. They are tonight's race sponsor of the Bristol Duel.
Perfect. So as soon as Erica get back with us here, I'll have her do a sponsor shout out for us on that. We won't really have to go over the race rundown as we essentially had the race rundown. Well, here it is if you're worried about it. Here's Erica. I see the little one with you. Do you mind giving us our sponsor shout outs for tonight?
Sure. So starting with Powerhouse Recycling, they believe in quality customer service before, during, and after the processing of a client's materials. Blue Egg Marketing is your marketing department. Small business owners, Blue Egg is your biggest fan. And finally, C2 Freight. With thousands of qualified carriers in their database, they're capable of handling shipping for every type of goods, from perishable foods to office equipment.
I hear the little one. Who do you think the little one's picking for tonight's race so far? Does he have a favorite?
It's hard to tell, but I think, he might actually, let's see, I'm trying to see through. I don't actually remember the number, but the second place finish from the last race, I think he said he liked the color scheme there.
Oh, he liked the 98 a Munsell. Oh, that's nice.
Yes, and he thought it was bold that he was running the Highline as well.
Well, that bold was definitely his strategy as he raced high the entire race there. Looks like a couple drivers going to the back of the field.
Yeah, I think we had a few more banner EOLs.
But I think one of those was Timmy Holmes. Wow, that's a big shakeup as we're about to go green here. It looks like our race winner is going to actually have to go back farther than 12th place as he has a banner EOL. So we're going to have to keep an eye on that. But the pace car will be coming down. We're about to go green where the racing gets good and the good gets racing. It's Bristol race number 2, baby. As we get going here, the high line gets a good start. That is... I believe that's Ethan Stanley getting the outside going. I'm not quite sure why how he was able to get such a good restart. I don't know if that's something that Race Pro is looking at, or if maybe the Chadwick just had a bad restart there. But Chadwick is able to get back up and find himself into no, that was Dustin Durr. It looks like maybe Chadwick actually had a banner EOL. There's quite a few drivers with banner EOLs as caution is out. Try to get sorted as to what happened here. We're going to go back over to David as he gives us a rundown of what happened on this caution.
This is Sean Ryan. Kind of checks up and gets Daniel Martinez, gets into the back of him, spins him around.
Daniel Martinez got collected in a few wrecks that last race and finds him early on with some front end damage. Unfortunately, both him and the 9 truck will have some damage to start this race as I have to figure out what's going on. You see James Saul there get sideways too.
He lost it under yellow.
Oh, yeah, he lost under yellow and collects. Who is that? Was that the 62 of of Cole? Milkrat? Looks like it might have been. Yeah. So we're gonna have to keep an eye on some of the drivers that ended up having to start all the way in the back of the field there. It looks like Timothy Holmes, he finds himself up to 28th. We thought it was going to be difficult from 12th position. We're about to find out how difficult it is from 40th position for some of those drivers as it looks like about 3 or 4 drivers were given EOLs to start the race here. It looks like Chadwick, our central pole, he thought he got lucky with the pick. He was going to start on pole, and unfortunately he found himself with an EOL to start the race. So we got some really strong drivers having to go from the back of the field there. You got Timmy Holmes back in 28th, Ethan Burrell back there in 29th, Chadwick in 30th, Scott Crump in 31st. All those drivers are having to essentially come from the back of the field. We're going to have to keep an eye on that because those are some of your front runners from the previous race all being in the back of the field now. But one driver that's pretty happy is Ethan Stanley up in first place. We're going to give a rundown because we didn't actually get an idea with all the EOLs of who was actually running in the top 10. Ethan Stanley in first position. Tom Bourne in second. Dustin Durr is in third. Levi, who finished sixth, finds himself in fourth, hoping to collect his points lead back up. Vincent Isabella, he runs in fifth, having a great race once again. And Tyler Dixon is in sixth. Chad Frankenfield trying to get a little better result here. He finds himself in seventh. And Justin Munsell, my son's pick, I guess, there is finds himself in eighth. We'll see if he can get that high line rolling. Our third place finisher, he finds himself up to ninth. Good shout out for the 5 there. That's a nice looking paint scheme he's got on tonight there. That's Alec Ballvance there. Joshua Free was way back there for some of the for the first race, but he finds himself up to 11th. And Dylan Jones, he had a bad start for the last race as he was collected in mini wrecks. I'm happy to say his 22 truck looks a lot better for this race so far. 13th is Cody Harrington at the 66. Joey Chapman is back there in the 14th, and Zach Evans, our favorite Twitch streamer there, he finds himself back there in 5th position with his teammate right behind him too. Still has a clean truck, Ray Bracey. Just got to keep Ray Bracey's truck all 4 tires on the ground, and he'll do just fine. His pace car is about to come off the track here as Ethan Stanley is waiting to go green. He does. He takes off. As you see the difference between how Ray Bracey he takes off, or Ethan Stanley there, he takes off a lot later in the restart zone, but still able to get a good start there. As we see, a few trucks getting spun around. Caution is out. Looks like that was the 98 getting spun. May have gotten into the inside wall there on the front straightaway.
Until it gets into the back of the 79. And then gets spun by Balvans down to the inside.
Oh, he got
lucky.
Close. He got so close. He's going to have a clean truck, but I'm hearing there was another wreck back there with the, looks like Chadwick, our essential pole sitter, didn't start anywhere near the pole, but I think we'll have to go back to see what happened with the 71, I believe, at Chadwick. You see him spun around. He just spins out. Yeah. Well, we're after rack it all up once again, and no drivers really got damaged too badly on that one. As we just seen a few drivers get spun around. I don't think Alec Ballfence was given any kind of VOL for that, or no penalty for that. So, yeah, looks so far everyone's still good. We got a question in the chat. Are they racing on ice? No, but they raced on dirt earlier in the year, and I think they had less cautions. So I'm not sure what's on the racetrack, but I think ice, they would have probably may have kept it green longer. So, I think so far the longest green flag run has been about 5 or 6 laps. So we'll see if we can actually get a long enough run to where the second place driver can be able to get any kind of run on the leader. As right now, Ethan Stanley finds himself still up front here, gifted the lead from Chadwick having an EOL penalty. So Tom Bourne there is in second place, and Dustin Durr finds himself in third. One good thing about this kind of invert is it brings up some of the drivers that may have been just barely on the outside of the top 10, and it puts them right up front. So we get a good cast of characters now that are up front, but we've seen Ethan Stanley, one of those rookie drivers that haven't had a good run last couple races here, and he finds himself up there. So he's already a pretty known front runner there. But Tom Bourne, good to see him up front, our last season's Daytona winner. And Dustin Durr, the last few races, he's really stepped up his game and stepped up the speed as he's been strong in these trucks as of late. And Zelensky in there in fourth place is just trying to collect up as many points as he can. He had a decent finish for the first race, but he wants that points lead back. He's gonna have to collect stage points and not go 360 on us again. And Chad Frankenfield is going to line up right onto the outside of the 2 truck there on the third row. Pace car will be coming off the track. We'll be waiting on Ethan Stanley, see if he can figure out like Holmes did on these restarts and how to get a big jump. So far, it's only been about a truck length lead when he gets to start, but that bottom lane, it has so much speed. It looked like he almost went full throttle around there. He may have, as he gets back out to a 6-truck lead. He didn't have a great restart, but that first turn, he's got that down pat on that very bottom lane. As 16 is able to clear, and he's going to try to see if he can work up on him as the caution is back out. Looks like Kendall Noah player saying something happened back there.
He got into the outside wall. That's a net code.
A little bit of net code with Brent Jones there. As Brent Jones came back up the racing track, get back into the groove, and net code
Martinez,
spun to 94.
Trump, Haney.
And the 9 car just goes through him. Just
got lucky.
Goes through Kendall Noah player, probably to his benefit, as the 9 car would have probably flipped him multiple times down the track. Well, if you ever wanted to know what the driver's seat looks like and didn't want to get iRacing, you saw it right there.
So they did give the tally to the 89. We saw it as kind of net code, but they gave a tally to the 89.
All calls can be
reviewed
and appealed. Thank you. Appealed after the race. So a tally is issued now, and maybe race control is just trying to get through the caution to get everything lined up. Again, it's only one race control person, so they may deem it just from a first glance, but after its tally session, or tally doesn't really take you out of a race. It definitely can affect you in the points, but it doesn't affect you on race. So he's not going to get an EOL or send him back further in the pack, but it doesn't help Noah player, and it doesn't help some of those drivers that got involved in that incident earlier on. But we'll have to just see how that progresses. Real quick, though, give a shout-out. Timmy Holmes is already past half the field. Timmy Holmes, who had an EOL, had to go all the way to the back, and 18 laps in, is already in his 19th position. He is coming hard. He is definitely trying to get up there as quickly as possible. He's definitely been the fastest one as from having to start in the back. We still see like Scott Crump's back in 36th. Ethan Burrell is back there still in looks like 35th position. But yeah, Holmes is fine. He is absolutely fine.
And I revised my prediction.
Oh no, Ethan Burrell's up to 25th. My bad. What's your prediction?
I want to revise it. I think Timmy is going to get to the front. Absolutely.
I think he's going to crack the top 10, maybe the top 5. If and this big if, he doesn't get collected in any of these wrecks, and that is a hard if because we've seen this track. We've seen this track just get completely blocked. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. If you're watching in the chat, where do you think by the end of the night you'll see a race 1 winner finished, starting dead last in the field? He didn't even. That's not even where he was supposed to start. He had an EOL penalty. He was going to start 12th. He's going back even farther. He's like, that's not even a big enough challenge for me. He's going all the way back to the back of the pack. He's already up to 19th. I want to know where everyone thinks he's going to finish. I think he's going to finish either 5th through 10th, somewhere in there. But he may outperform that. But pace car will be coming down. We'll see how the restart this time around for Ethan Stanley as he gets back onto the gas pedal. And still only about a truck length lead, but he doesn't do it this time. He didn't get all the way on the bottom. He took like a middle lane there, and not nearly as strong of a run coming out of there. But what that does is that puts Chad Frankenfield in contention, battling hard with Tom Bourne for that second place. Chad Frankenfield trying to get the bottom lane running, but the 16 is able to get the outside lane with momentum and be able to clear, and hopefully be able to have enough time before the next caution to maybe track down and put some kind of battle for the race lead here. As you see a battle going on for second, looks like the two trying to get that bottom lane going. The bottom lane may have speed, but with the momentum of that outside lane, it is so hard to be able to clear up in front. It's going to take some kind of slide job maneuver to be able to do it. But we see Tom Bourne right on the back bumper of our leader. This is the closest we've seen for a battle for the lead, as Tom Bourne is going to try to figure out some way to get around our leader here of Ethan Stanley. He's trying to get that high lane rolling. He's going to have momentum, but he's going to have to figure out a way to be able to get past him. All that ended up doing was allow Chad Frankenfield to be able to get to the back bumper of him. He's going to look underneath. Is he going to be able to do any kind of slide job? He dives it in, is not going to be able to clear. Now he's going to have to worry about Chad Frankenfield filling in that void of that outside lane and taking it from him. As Chad Frankenfield does stick his nose in there. You don't do that. Chad Frankenfield will take it. He is not one to give up any kind of positions. As a good battle, now it's for second place. Chad Frankenfield getting that outside lane running, but caution is out. Looks like Chad Frankenfield was just enough ahead to be able to get that second place position. We'll give it over to David here as he tries to figure out where that caution came from.
Like it comes back to number 25, gets into the back of number 60, Joey Chapman. And then right in front of Brent Jones, like everybody else kind of gets collected.
Scott Crump.
Burrell.
Not what Scott Crump wanted.
The 07 car gets collected.
Looks like Scott Crump, once again, nowhere to go. Blows his engine. Is going to have another terrible finish at Bristol. Another terrible finish for Scott Crump there as his engine goes up. He just barely clips him, but it does turn him into the inside wall and pops the engine for him.
So the tally's issued to the 25 for getting into the back of Chapman there. And he really kept going. So he was like the least impacted of all of them. Quite often the case.
Yeah, unfortunate for those drivers back there. As, again, Scott Crump came into the night, not the race, the night, in on points, but just barely. And he has two back-to-back heartbreak, horrible finishes. As he only going to have 4 races left to be able to find himself up there. He was our points leader all last season. Led the points for the majority of the season going into the chase, and was looking so forward to this season to be able to go back at it and prove that he was a championship material driver. And unfortunately, he's going to have a hard challenge to be able to recover from tonight's 2 races. Up to 13th. Timothy Holmes up to 13th. He's almost back to his starting position. He's got one more spot to make until he's back up to his starting position, and it's still a clean truck. He's got damaged trucks all over him, and he's up to 13th. I thought we would call him the short track king if he came from 12th to 1st. He'll be the short track master if he comes from 40th to 1st in 80 laps at Bristol. We're just going to have to keep an eye on him because he's going to provide some entertainment. He is finding passing lanes. I don't know where. Maybe he has a wall glitch or something. He's just able to... He passed in that about 4-lap run from 19th to 13th. What we saw him, he was the strongest driver on the bottom. So he may be taking the restarts on the bottom while most people pick the outside and just sticking it, as he is just he's almost cracked the top 10 already, and we're not even halfway. He may get stage points. He may get stage points before it's all over. As if, once again, as I stated, he picks the bottom. He's going to gain a couple more positions. This finds him now in essentially 11th place, as he finds himself on the 6th row inside. As the pace car is going to be coming off this time, Ethan Stanley is going to be taking the green with a new driver to his outside, Chad Frankenfield. See if Chad Frankenfield is able to be a little bit more aggressive and be able to stick to the side of Ethan Stanley on these restarts. He is not, but is Chad Frankenfield going to have any kind of run? Ethan Stanley got off that bottom lane, and I don't think it's as strong as when he wraps around that bottom lane, but Chad Frankenfield is still about a 4 truck length lead behind him. Is going to desperately try to get back up to him here. As you see, Vincent Isabella finds himself now in the 3rd place. And relegated back to 4th place is Tom Bourne. Chad Frankfield got the bottom working there in 3 and 4 really well. And is going to go around turns 1 and 2 right on the very bottom. Gets right to the back bumper of Ethan Stanley. Is he going to try again? Yes, he is. He's running a very low lane. Is he going to work? He's going to go side by side coming at the flag stand. Not in front of him yet, but is still side by side. Goes up a little higher. Oh, gets very close to Ethan Stanley's back bumper. Is going to get right back in front of Vincent. Is now he's going to have to worry about, is he going to pull that move, and is Vincent Isabella going to fill that void of that outside lane? Chad Frankfield trying desperately to try to get that outside lane or inside lane going there. As you see, Tom Bourne is going to go with him down there. Coming to the line, it's still Ethan Stanley, but very close to Chad Frankenfield. This is the closest battle for the lead we've seen yet. Chad Frankenfield doing a very good job trying to get that inside lane going. Oh, hard net code. Hard net code takes out our front 3, front 4, front 6, 7, 8, 9 drivers. Huge net code. Huge net code. Spins Ethan Stanley from the lead as we see a parking lot on the front straightaway. Ethan Stanley into the wall, Vincent Isabella into the back of him, spins both of them around, and then we see your 3rd place driver, 4th place driver, Tom Bourne, get collected from someone behind them, ended up making contact.
Yeah, that's a really bad netcode.
That was about a truck length of netcode. That is a humongous netcode. Unless if the 92 just the rear end broke on it. And that was a violent hit there. Well, it's not over, but that is the end of the stage. As, guess who just got 6th place in this stage? If you would have guessed Timmy Holmes from 40th place to 6th position for the end of this stage, you guessed right. And I'm very surprised if anyone would have guessed that. As you see our caution there, 16 goes around into the inside wall pretty hard.
Wasn't very many people not involved in that one.
Yeah, a lot of drivers ended up just not having anywhere to go, get collected up, as essentially trucks come to a very hard stop. You see the 7 car doing what he's supposed to and comes to a stop. He doesn't want to damage that up any more than he had in the first run there. As you see the 79 spun around. Unfortunately for Ethan Stanley there, he's going to be able to keep going, it looks like, but he's going to have a lot of damage. So, Timmy Holmes into 6th position from 40th. That's almost a truck a lap that he just passed. He has a little bit of damage on this back bumper, but I don't know what to say. I was thinking 6th to 10th position finishing would have been a successful night for him. He finds himself only a few positions behind his closest rival, rival of Levi, who's in third position. Well, this puts a usual cast of characters back up front. Chad Frankenfield, Tyler Fody both find themselves back up front. Fody, also one of those drivers that had to come from really far back, 29th position, so not nearly as far, but 29th position up to second is Tyler Fody. A great recovery for him. But he finds his old buddy Chad Frankenfield on the inside of him. The last time that happened, when they were together, it didn't end up so well for both of them. So we'll find out here as the pace car will be coming down this time. Chad Frankenfield decides to take the bottom lane. Tyler Fody decides to take the outside lane. We'll find out if Tyler Fody has anything for Chad Frankenfield. Both of them are Truck Series champion, previous Truck Series champions, so neither one of them are going for points. Pace car will be coming off. Chad Frankenfield, early start, jumps on it very fast, very soon. Fody's going to try to see if he can be able to get any kind of run on him coming out of turn 2 to be able to close up on the gap. You see their battle for third as fifth place goes to the our previous race winner and is going to get himself into fourth position coming out of turn 4. That's Timmy Holmes in fourth place. Now it's going to try to put a battle on Levi. Levi's looking in his mirror wondering, how the heck did he get back up here so quickly? Levi is going to have a battle, but I think if nothing happens from this point on, it looks like the points are not going to be enough for Levi to get his points lead back up. As you see Chad Frankenfield take off, essentially. He's leaving the rest of them behind as he gets out to a pretty decent lead over Fody, but a good battle starting to shape up for third place with your two championship rivals. Two strong running trucks all season long. Levi and Timmy Holmes. Timmy Holmes trying to get that outside lane running, but when does he decide to try to take the bottom lane? When does he try to decide? We haven't gotten to see him run up through the field. We've only seen his success. We haven't seen what's brought it on. We haven't seen how he's been able to make those positions. Is he going to be able to have some kind of lane that he runs that no one is able to complete? He's right on the back bumper coming out of turn 2. He's looking underneath going to turn 3 and 4. He's side by side with Levi there. Coming out of turn 4, gets very tight. Levi able to hold him off. It was a different story passing drivers in 20th position. These top 5 drivers are a different ball game all entirely, as these will be the hardest people to pass. As he bumps him, he bumps Levi. Levi saves it. He saves the car coming out, or truck out of turn 4. It keeps it going. But third place goes to your driver of last race winner. Levi gets a little bit more bump. He finds himself on the apron. He's going to slide up 3 wide. Is he going to be able to keep going? He does. He's going to have no tires after this if people keep bumping him. He still has it going straight. As you see it 3 wide, it's going to have contact further back as he finds himself finally in a safe position up on the top side. Somehow we're still green after all that. Levi trying to get back up there. Maybe has something to pay back over to Timothy Holmes there. As you see, Chad Frankenfield starting to catch up on some lap cars. Gets to an even bigger lead, probably the biggest lead we've seen so far tonight over Fody, wrapping around that bottom lane. But a good battle back there for 9th, 10th, even 8th position. You see there, it looks like that's Robert Hill on the very bottom trying to wrap it around. As you see, looks like Tyler Dixon able to get to the outside of him. And Levi's just trying to get back up there to be able to contend once again up front. Is underneath that. It looks like the 90 is able to keep going, but he finds himself a lap down with a lot of damage way off the pace. But they're working around some of these slower lap cars of Scott Crump. Looks like that's Dustin Durr right in front of, right behind Levi. Chadwick, all the way from the back as well. He was all the way back there as well. He finds himself back up into the top 10. You may not see it, but there's passing going on at this track for these drivers to get back up here. So far, it looks like we've got a good battle there going. That is that the 37? Yeah, Ethan Brill, another one of those drivers that was way back there. He finds himself up to the 6th place. battling very hard with, it looks like that's the number 5 of Alec Ballveins. Is he going to be able to clear him? Not quite yet. As he dives it in there, he might try to get 2 for 1 going into 3 and 4. As a caution comes back out. We'll have to find out where that happened. Seems like David may have found the culprit here.
Like Scott Haney got into the side of Chad Frankenfield and then spins to the inside. See if anybody else collects him.
Right in front of Chad, you saw Chadwick. How circumstances changed. He was in front of Chad just about 10, 15 laps ago. Now he found himself right in front of Chad, about to go a lap down with a ton of damage. Again, some of these drivers may not have race replay. He may not know the circumstances of how big that net code. So maybe Chad's taking a breather, knowing that he doesn't have to go around a driver. He doesn't know if he's really mad at him or not. So Chad is still going to be able to be our leader, but he has to start to wonder, when does Timmy Holmes, who's in 3rd place, get to him? Timmy Holmes, from dead last, has now found himself in 3rd place. And we still have 20 laps to go, 19 laps to go. There is still time for him to be able to catch up to Chad and be able to make a pass. So we'll have to keep an eye on that progression of that story. But Harrison Talon in 4th place, having a great run once again. In race number 2, doing great things for his chase hopes. And Ethan Burrell coming from the back, not as quickly, but very steadily and with a very clean truck. Alec Ballvance hoping to be able to complete this race. He ran very well late in the run last one, but he's hoping to be able to finish this one off. Levi, man, the man's been making saves all night. The man has earned his paycheck. He may not get as much points as he deserves, but the man has been sideways. He's spun it around, and he's been finishing these things. He finished 6th last race, doing a 360. This time around, he got hit 3 different times and still going. Dustin Durr finds himself in 8th position. It looks like Chadwick is also one of those drivers coming from the back. Was going to be the pole sitter. Had to go from the back. He finds himself up to 9th. Michael Hosek finds himself in 10th position, having a lot better run this time with a much cleaner truck. Tyler Dixon having a decent run again. He finds himself up to 11th. And Robert Hill's doing a good job back there in 12th as well, still with a very clean truck. It's almost as much impressive when you find some of these trucks back there with a clean truck as it is where their position is running. Cody Harrington at 13th. He is showing the signs of Bristol beating and banging. Brent Jones hoping to have an engine to finish this thing out, as it didn't go so well at the very end of the race, the last. And Joshua Freed finds himself in 15th position in that Chevy. Well, the pace car will be coming off this time. Fode's going to take the outside, and right behind him, who's been running just as well on that very bottom lane, is Timothy Holmes. So we'll find out if Chad's going to have a restart to be able to get himself far enough away from the battling that's going to ensue behind him. Oh, that looks like they delayed it for one more. Looks like someone's being called for a choose lane violation. Oh, that's 07. Michael Hosek. We just mentioned how clean of a truck, doing so well. He's going to have a commitment choose line violation, which means that he chose after the start-finish line what lane he was going to start in. And unfortunately for him, as he's right now contesting said call, is going to find himself all the way back with only 15 laps to go to try to work his way back up to the front. We still find ourselves with 22 trucks on the lead lap here. start. We'll see if we can get back up there. Chad Frankenfield is not having as good of a start, but who had a fantastic start is Timothy Holmes as he finds himself up to second place. Is he going to put a battle on to Chad Frankenfield? You see him starting to take that outside lane. That truck's got 15 miles per hour more speed than anybody else as he just is able to get going so fast around these turns. It's like the man doesn't lift as he's able to get going. And is he going to be able to catch up to Chad before the next caution arrives? Right behind him is Fody, and behind Fody is Ethan Burrell, also trying to prove something after having a horrible, abysmal finish for the last race. He's going to try to put a battle to Fody. So far, Chad's been committed to the very bottom lane. So far, it looks like it's working for him very well. Now, is that tearing up his tires more? I have no idea as far as where the tires, if it's better for the high side or the low line, but it looks like your top 5 are all committed to the high lane except for your leader. As we come 10 laps, coming to 9 laps to go. Can Timothy Holmes be able to complete the double? Is he able to come and be able to compete with Chad, catch up to him as they come to 8 laps to go from essentially last place to first? So far, Chad's doing a fantastic job. He falls off the very bottom, goes to a kind of a mid lane there, but is still having about a half a second lead as you see Ethan Burrell take the battle to Fody for third. Ethan Burrell not able to complete the pass, but lines up right behind as those 3 drivers are still about a half a second behind Chad Frankenfield running the very bottom lane. Ethan Burrell's going to try once again. He has nothing to lose. There's no one behind him. So if he's not able to complete the pass, it doesn't do any wrongs to him as he will still be in 4th position, as 5th position's really far back there. That's Harrison Talon and Dustin Durr going and battling it for it. But right now, he's trying desperately to get around both Fody and the 67. Fody almost giving a bump to Holmes there as Chad Frankenfield starts to catch up to the back of lap traffic as here we come to 4 laps to go. Three-way battle for second position. Fody almost looked like he was trying to go for a middle lane there. Ethan Burrell able to close it off. Ethan Burrell trying to pass both these drivers in one go. As they come up to the lap car, oh! You see Holmes come down and push Ethan Burrell all the way to the bottom. Contact made. Ethan Burrell almost able to clear for second. Is he going to dive it in there and clear himself? He slides up. He is going to be able to pass for second. Ethan Burrell able to get into second place in front of Holmes. Now you got Fody battling with Holmes, trying to be able to get the third place position from him. Caution right before we came to the white flag. Caution is out. Inches before Chad crossed the white flag. As you see a car around in turn 2. Cody Harrington.
Like 89 gets into the back of him.
Oh,
up into the stands.
Our first flying vehicle of the night. As he bounces around. Looked like Netco got him, but what finished him was that outside wall. Sent him flying. Flying in the air. Well, hold on, folks, as you're about to see what an astronaut feels like. Or at least what it looks like. I don't think you would want to feel what this feels like. Wow! Ooh, wow. Usually you have to pay for a ride like that.
Now, you know who should appreciate that is Todd Eldridge. I mean, that was a good spin.
Yeah, Todd Eldridge might have liked that one, but then again, Todd Eldridge probably does not want to have to replicate that either. So, I don't think anyone wants to, but Cody Harrington goes for a wild ride. We've got 3 laps to go. You've got Chad Frankenfield starting up front here, right behind him, coming from back. We haven't said as much. We've been focusing so much on Timothy Holmes. Ethan Burrell has also came from the back. He was running up front when he got taken out of the last race. He never got to show his strengths, his dominance. But he has a chance here. If he's able to get any kind of restart on Chad Frankenfield, we've seen it so difficult for the outside driver to be able to keep side by side with the leader when they go into turn 1 and 2. Leader's always been able to get out to just enough lead to be able to get themselves comfortable for a few laps. So if it's going to come down to a green-white checkered, Ethan Burrell has to have a dominant restart. Has to be able to take it to Chad Frankenfield on this restart and stay side by side. That's the only hope he has. If Chad Frankenfield is able to get this restart down pat, it's going to be too little too late for whatever run Ethan Burrell presents to him. Chad Frankenfield, so far, with a very clean truck. As you see, most of these trucks look like they've been to Bristol. That's kind of what you expect when you come here, is that you're going to have a few fenders that are going to be dented in. Ethan Burrell started back in 35th position, now finds himself in 2nd. Is he going to have anything for Chad Frankenfield? We're going to have a choose cone. If Chad's going to take the bottom lane, Ethan Burrell to the outside, and it looks like, Holmes takes the inside as well, and Fody takes the outside. Now, where the choose came into an actual decision-making was, it looks like the 51 of Harrison Talon decides the outside. He was in 5th, so he actually chose a lane that he wasn't going to line up in.
Oh, Valvans gets into the back of him.
Valvans gets in the back of Levi there. Levi still finds himself in 7th, so he's still having a decent night. Still trying to finish it off, but then again, we saw what happened in the last race. Here we go. Pace car is going to be coming down. Chad Frankenfield is on the gas pedal. He gets just what he needs. He gets to about a 2-truck length lead. The 67, once again, doing a fantastic job, but is not going to be able to clear the 37. 37 makes a little bit of contact. He's going to go hard into turn 3 and 4. Going to try to run that outside lane. Is he going to have momentum? Is he going to be able to have anything for Chad Frankenfield? He's on his back bumper. Chad Frankenfield decides to take the low side. Ethan Burrell's going to have this chance only. 3 and 4. He's going to have to try to figure out a way to get around him. Chad Frankenfield takes the low lane. Is he going to be able to get to the side of him? No, Chad Frankenfield is going to finish it off and win in the 2nd Bristol race. Ethan Burrell comes home 2nd. Oh, so close to being able to get to the outside of Chad Frankenfield, but unfortunately, did not have enough time. Tyler Fody finds himself to round out in 3rd place. And Timothy Holmes, we almost got to speak to him again. He's going to come home in 4th position and is going to come home also your points leader for after these 2 races tonight. It's been a little bit since we've seen Chad Frankenfield win in the Truck Series. It's the first one of the season so far for Chad Frankenfield. Not running for points, but these victories, no matter what series you run in, are difficult to come by. Even so, in these Truck Series, as you get such a skew of different drivers that you never race against, like, say, Timothy Holmes and Levi coming back. So, any kind of victories you can pick up are ones to enjoy. Chad Frankenfield burns it down here tonight. So we get a rundown of our finishing order here. Erica, are you still with us, or are you dealing with the baby?
I'm here.
Alrighty. We're going to give us the rundown here, and Erica's going to name them out for you.
All right, so in the 2nd race tonight, we have Chad Frankenfield coming home with a victory, Ethan Burrell in 2nd, Tyler Fody in 3rd, Timmy Holmes 4th, Harrison Talon 5th, Dustin Dewar 6th, 7th, Levi Zielinski, Tyler Dixon in 8th, Alec Balvans in 9th, Robert Hill Jr. in 10th place, Jeff Sickles in 11th, Zach Evans in 12th, Kyle Walgren in 13th. In 14th, we have Sam Bootwell. Finishing 15th, Josh Freed. 16th, Chadwick Denton. Michael Hosick, 17th. Brandon Hughes, 18th. Ethan Stanley, 19th. 20th, Ray Bracey. 21st, we have Justin Munsell, followed by Vincent Isabella in 22nd. Scott Haney in 23rd. 24th place, we have Kendall Noah. Brent Jones in 25th, Cody Harrington 26th, Brody Moore 27th, Michael Goodman 28th, Scott Crump 29th, Joey Chapman 30th, Trey Holmes in the 31st place, Dylan Jones 32nd, Tom Bourne 33rd, Daniel Martinez 34th, Sean Ryan 35th, Cole Mickret 36th, and James Saul 37th.
Well, there's your running order for tonight. We're going to give it over to Erica here once we bring up some of these drivers. Looks like we got our third place driver there of Tyler Fody. See if we can get him on up here tonight. Alrighty, Tyler Fody's here with us now. We'll give it over to Erica.
All right, Tyler. Well, thank you for joining us, and congratulations on the third place finish. Can you tell us a little bit about how this race may have differed from the previous races and how you managed to get the third place finish?
Yeah, well, God, it kind of sucks, to be honest. I thought we had the winning car there. Thought we were going to run at least top 3 in the first run, and got wrecked with Chad there, which I guess ended up being netcode. So that was awesome. And then this race drove all the way back up to the front pretty much just for another one of Chad incidents to give us some damage. And then the last 20 laps or so was down on power, so I couldn't really challenge with Chad there. So overall, I guess I'll take the third, considering everything that happened, but definitely could have got more, I think.
You say a lot of contact with Chad. You do know what your back bumper says. So
Yeah, I don't know if I was kind of asking for it or what, but my God, I couldn't get away from him tonight.
whenever you invite that, you get you get what you call for. Back bumper, if anyone was wondering, says what does it say, Fody?
Oh man, it says bye Chad, I think, which I guess I was saying that tonight. So
Yeah. Unfortunately, sometimes you got to eat what you say. So, good finish. Again, you're not running for points or anything. You're just out here trying to win, and it seems like that's more difficult than it actually has been proven to be. As you only have one win so far, and you've competed in almost every race. You said you were only going to do a couple of these, and we keep seeing you back out here. You must be having fun.
well, I was only going to be out here a few times until I saw Chad running every week, and I was like, well, I can't let him just steal all the wins, and here we are again with him winning. So I guess I'm going to keep sticking around until we can beat him.
well, we're not disappointed with that. We enjoy having all the good competition up here. So far, I mean, you're seeing some of these new drivers that maybe you haven't seen before. What's the group of field here? As a previous champion, you've raced with Elite a lot. What's the field looking like out here? Is there a lot of talented maybe drivers that you see moving up into the series later on through maybe the Xfinity and the Cup Series?
Yeah, I mean, there's a handful that I've seen so far that I've raced with. Timmy Holmes being one that seems to be really quick on the short tracks. Munsel's pretty good. Levi Zielinski, all those guys ring a bell that I've been running around the top 10 with throughout some of these races, so they'll probably be in the other series going forward.
Well, again, congratulations on the third place, even though it's probably not a victory for you in the scheme of things, since victories are all that matter right now. But we do want to go ahead and let you do a shout out, thank all the people that allow you to be out here, as even though it's not first place, it's still something to be proud of just to finish one of these Bristol races.
Yeah, well, shout out to you all for being in the booth tonight for the doubleheader. I'm sure it'll be cool to watch back. I got to thank Vincent Isabella for running with me tonight. And also shout out to Tyler Dixon and the Dixon Smoked Meats barbecue brand that I get to rep for him. So we'll take this third and go on to the rest of this week. Maybe try and get a win, but we'll definitely be back next Sunday for whatever we got coming up.
Well, again, once again, congratulations on third, and we look forward to you to come out maybe next week. It's New Hampshire. I think you do pretty decent at New Hampshire. I know you say you don't like flat tracks, but I think you do pretty decent. We'll see how you do at New Hampshire next week if you decide to show up.
Yeah, we'll see.
Well, that was your third place. So, Erica, before we bring in Ethan Burrell, just understand that Ethan Burrell, it's better to just downplay his achievements because he's got so many of them. So just so you know. Oh, here he is, Ethan Burrell, our second place driver. Gave it over to Erica as she introduces you.
Ethan, thank you so much for joining us. I do want to congratulate you on the second place finish. So tell us a little bit about the rundown, how you approached the race.
Oh well, it was exciting. The first race did not go good. got junked up pretty early, but second race starting in the back. Was just trying to pick them off one by one, kind of take advantage of the choose cone, and I was rolling the bottom pretty good, so I was able to pick guys off here and there doing that. But just slowly but surely, I had good speed in the 37 Pro Edge racing truck. Just had to make it count and stay out of trouble, and almost had a shot there at the end to try to steal it, but just didn't quite have enough there.
You're making it sound like you came from 35th position. I don't know what the problem was with all that, Ethan. Good run. I wish you would have been able to just have one more lap, because I felt like you were oh so close. It looked like you had a desperation attempt out of turn 4. You tried so hard to get onto the outside, Chad, and just made contact with the outside wall. What was it going to take? It was so hard for these trucks on restarts to be able to stay up with the leader. It took a couple laps before they caught down to it. If you could replay that last restart, what would have taken to beat Chad Frankenfield upside maybe turning him?
Yeah, I think I was a little bit slow on the jump. I knew that he was gonna go early when the pace car pulled off, but he went right when the pace car ducked down, so he caught me off guard a little bit. So that could have helped. I think my only real shot is if I had stayed kind of next to him through 1 and 2, but and then on the last lap, I had a good run at him, and I knew he was going to cover the bottom, so I didn't want to try to dive under him, and because that probably would have just ended up sending him if that was the case. So I just tried to launch it on the outside, and obviously drove it way too hard. But I felt like if I could have at least been next to him off of 4, maybe could have done something. But otherwise, without timing the restart perfect, that was about all I could get.
Now, you've been off and on running this series. Are you running for points? Is it just for victories as well?
It's just going to be another very, very part-time season. I really want to sign up and be able to run one of these truck seasons full-time, but my work scheduling doesn't usually work out. So I'm going to try my best to get in here as many times as I can this season. And if some things change next season, you'll absolutely see my face in the truck series full-time, hopefully.
Well, if you ever come in late, just come hop in and join us at any time, Ethan. It was great to see you out there. Wish we could have gotten one more lap to see a good battle between you and Chad, but ultimately, you still came home second. You still made a lot of passes tonight, and that's always fun to always go back and rewatch and reminisce about how you were able to survive Bristol, at least for the second race. The first race, it didn't take long before we saw you out of that one. As car, we took an onboard shot of you taking a little bit of a wheelie going down the back straightaway, but ultimately good finish, Ethan, and hopefully we get to see you a couple more times. It's always fun to see you out there, and next time don't forget to use the bumper.
That's right, yeah, and I'll just thank all the guys at the Pro Edge shop, Chad and the Ethan Reasoner, all the admins for putting this on. You guys for making this series so fun and exciting. You guys do a good job up here. Dixon's Barbecue for sponsoring the series, and Anthony Ludi at 213 Simware, and boy John at JD Designs for slapping together a truck scheme for me real quick. But yeah, thankfully tonight was special, and we got a chance to go out there and get a little redemption after the first one. So I'll walk away happy as could be with the P2.
Well, again, good job, Ethan, and sure. If not with us, some broadcast groups will probably be talking to you, maybe even this week, as we continue racing on through the week here in Elite. So good second place finish.
Yeah, for sure, buddy. Thank you.
That was your second place finisher. We're going to bring Chad Frankenfield, our winner tonight, And I'll hand it back over to Erica here as she interviews our first time winner of this season so far, Chad Frankenfield. Erica?
Thank you so much for joining us. And you stole a win this evening. How did you manage to fend off the rest of the field?
Well, first I want to say thanks for joining the booth. I'm sure it helps Gerald out to have his wife in the booth with him. So I thank you for helping us out every Sunday.
Certainly.
But it was an interesting race. I mean, I thought I was putting myself in a good position early on. I felt like I was running the middle groove there. I might have been able to get by Ethan Stanley, and I guess there was just a crazy netcode iRacing thing. I watched the replay and it was pretty rough. I feel bad because it took out a lot of good trucks up front. So it's always good to win, but it's always still a little bitter just because I wish I would have had more of the fast trucks up front there at the end. But still had to have a couple good restarts. Still had to fend off Ethan Burrell, Timmy Holmes, and then Fody, his truck was damaged. So I was actually surprised he was even able to do what he did. So, but anytime you can win, it's great. It's the first time that we got a win with kicking the tires on the hood. So I want to thank them for being our partner for the season.
Well, again, you came home tonight's winner. You only run these things for the fun of it, but it's been a difficult season. I mean, there's been a lot of different winners, a lot of strong competitors out there. We saw you and Fody make contact in the first race and didn't end so well for you with a ton of damages. But tonight you were able to make a few passes and essentially make the only pass for the lead. What was the difficultness of being able to make some of these passes that some of these drivers were trying to accomplish?
Well, you had to put yourself in tough spots. Race one, I was on the outside of Fody, and I felt like I was on his quarter, and I guess it was netcode in that incident as well. But you just have to run so close to each other, especially in the trucks, because your off throttle time is so little. As soon as you're off the gas, you're back on the gas. Where if the Xfinity car or the next gen car will we run here soon, you're going to be off the throttle more because the speed's higher. So and the car doesn't drive as well. So there's more room for error. So you don't have to be on top of where the trucks. I mean, I don't think I used the brake the entire second race. So I just was coasting it through the corner. It just makes it tough. And the other thing too is the truck field's so tough. So it just adds on top of that.
Well, you had great restarts. Which was the key for a lot of it. Great restarts. You had great ability to be able to run that bottom lane. So I think that helped through most of the race. So it was good to see lanes at Bristol once again. It was good to see passes being able to make on the low side, at least for restarts purposes and everything like that. But going into it, I mean, are you racing the entire season, or is there certain races that you're just picking and choosing? We've seen you in most of them, but then again, we've been to a lot of differing tracks. I mean, next week at New Hampshire. Is this just going to be trying to be a thing where you're just going to try spoiler on some of these guys?
Well, I mean, it's first off, the truck's one of the most fun cars on here to run. So I try to do it as much as possible, but mainly because I don't run official, I don't have time. Really, all I do is our league races. So I try to run these just to get more experience and work. Like for example, a track like Bristol, I struggled to save the right front, and I made a steering ratio change for race 2, and it helped massively. So it's really just about that, and really I'm just trying not to affect the championship at all. Obviously, that's the biggest thing. I don't want to get in anybody's way as far as that's concerned, but I'm really just trying to get wins, run up front, help out my teammates when possible, with tips and things like that, and just have fun. I mean, like I said, the truck is one of the most fun trucks out there. So, but obviously with the memory lanes challenge as well, between me, Vincent, and Fody, I mean, there's going to be $100 in the line between us three, between Charlotte and IRP. So we'll see how the points turn out between those two races and go from there. But But yeah, and then the Trace I'll probably run. I'll probably run Martinsville and Watkins Glen, and then I think that's all I'm allowed to run if I know off the top of my head. So,
Ooh,
but that's the
Chad at
game plan.
Martinsville. We got stories for that one when we get to it. We've got plenty of
Yeah,
Chad
but
Martinsville
you know,
stories. We look forward to that.
yeah, yeah. But I think that's why I run these is because I'm trying to get better, and I from running Martinsville as much as we do and running it in the trucks, I was able to help myself in the Xfinity and Cup side. So, um, yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to running that, obviously, but yeah, it's just about getting work and just staying sharp and creating momentum through the week. So that's really the biggest thing.
Well, you did a great job tonight. Came from 7th place and ended up scoring the victory here tonight. Um, yeah, like I said, we got New Hampshire next week. Another one of those tracks that is difficult. It's definitely going to be one of those that, with a choose lane, it's going to come into a lot of effect tonight. So, congratulations on first tonight. A lot of tough competitors, as we stated up front. So, good way to be able to round out for the week here and start strong for some of these races and elites coming up. Go ahead and tell us, since you race in all these, what some of the races coming up for the rest of this schedule for this week, if you have it off the top of your head.
Yeah, well, I try to remember the first couple weeks. So obviously we're tomorrow the Xfinity Series, the Mrs. Goodies Grand National Series at Chicagoland, which is usually a really good race. That sets a little loose too, so we'll probably get some multi-group racing. Wednesday, the JohnnyPS.com Cup Series is at Dover. And then Friday, the Indy cars are at Michigan for the US 500. So we have a jam-packed week. And then next Sunday, the trucks are at the Magic Mile, New Hampshire, and we kind of just roll right through. I don't think the trucks are off until I want to say Easter. So got a lot of racing left. And I was telling Dixon that the trucks, I mean, we only have 5 races left in the regular season. So um, points will definitely be heating up on that front. So, but again, I want to thank you guys. I want to thank C2 Freight, Bleg Marketing, Powerhouse Recycling, Dixon Smoke Barbecue, and then obviously Kicking the Tires for sponsoring me in the trucks, Xfinity Cup and IndyCar Series, and White Lightning Racing. They've been a cool bunch to run with, and kind of brought some enjoyment to being with a team on here. So,
Congratulations to the White Lightning Group and Chad Frankenfield for a victory today. Congratulations.
yep, thank you.
Well, that was Chad Frankenfield, our tonight's winner for the NASCAR RPG Bristol Duels. We had 2 of them. Our first race winner was Timmy Holmes. Congratulations for him on our 1st and 4th place finish. And then congratulations to Chad Frankenfield for our 2nd race winner. Well, we've only got four. I think it's 5 races left. 5 races left in this regular season, and it is coming quick. We will be back here on the 27th. That will be at New Hampshire. We'll be kicking it off around 9 o'clock with the same group here, Erica, David, and I. We all look forward to being able to go to New Hampshire. If there was ever a track that I feel like I'm the best at, it's New Hampshire. So I have a good connection to that track, as it leads to a lot of side-by-side and a lot of hard passes. And we'll probably be seeing some contact once again, as we've seen in these truck series. It's hard to race in these truck series. It's hard to be a front runner week in and week out. But yeah, here we go to another race weekend where, again, all the points shakes up, and the points are getting tighter and tighter, and the races are coming quicker and quicker. Before we know it, will be the end of the regular season. So desperation will be starting to set in for some of these drivers, and every race we get to from here on out, you'll be seeing some of these drivers being more and more desperate to get these finishing positions. So as that goes along, it's all for our enjoyment as we get to watch it. We hope to have you guys back again next week at New Hampshire. Thank you for joining us for both of these races. Thank you, David Huckleberry, for being with me. Thank you to my lovely wife, Dr. Erica Campbell, with her lovely voice doing a wonderful job. And hopefully we can be all stacked up and go again as we enjoy this truck series that the Elite Racing Network provides for us. Thank you once again, and have a wonderful night.